guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am filming a first impressions video with a palette that I think you guys are curious about as much as I was. So I did pick up the Mainstage palette just so I could take one for the team, try this palette out, and let you know if you should be shelling out the money for this drugstore palette. So if you're interested in seeing swatches, this eye look, and my first impression thoughts, then just keep watching. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Karen Harris. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on YouTube. When I first got on YouTube, I had the hardest time finding reviews and swatches and just videos on new makeup releases from someone with my skin tone, and that was so important to me as a makeup lover because I only had so much money and there were so many makeup launches, so videos like this was what I was looking for to help me decide if I should buy a palette or not. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I would highly recommend subscribing to my channel. I do upload quite often and you do get a ton of content from me. So yeah, consider subscribing. Join the Karen Harris makeup fam, and without further blabbering, let's get into it. Okay guys, so I first saw whispers about this palette, I think on a Facebook group I'm in. There's a bigger YouTube creator named Jen Phelps. I think she has a Facebook group, and she had shared that these two palettes launched on Ulta, or somebody in that group had launched that these palettes were on Ulta. There's another palette that's like a pinky yellow palette, I think. I'll throw up a picture in case you guys are curious to see it. But of course, this one caught my attention right away. Now, I haven't tried anything from LA Girl as far as eyeshadows before, I don't think, or if I have, it's been a long time. I do have their pencil liners, like these ones. I have these ones, and they're okay. They're not my favorite. I know a lot of people really love them for colorful eyeliners for your waterline. I personally don't find that they stay in my waterline. That's neither here nor there. That's not what we're here to talk about. So let's focus on the eyeshadow palette. I saw that this launched. I contemplated buying it, but I was like, I don't need it. I have so many palettes coming my way. And then Ulta, of course, they sent me a 20% off coupon for drugstore. And then I was really wanting to pick up this foundation from Urban Decay. Somebody gave me an Ulta gift card. And so then I was like, okay, let me get the foundation I want and let me get this palette. So this palette retails for like $15.99 and I got like $2 off of the palette. So I decided to pick it up. Now I will say mine did come in a bubble mailer, and I did post to my stories that, oh my gosh, I was so shocked that none of these shades shattered, because in the same Facebook group that I read about this palette, so many people that have purchased the palette were posting pictures of how their palette came shattered. I even think I saw Katie Marie on Instagram say that she had her first palette come shattered, then Ulta sent her a replacement palette. That one came shattered, and so I really had low hopes when I saw the bubble mailer. I was like, there is no way my palette is not shattered. And by the grace of the makeup gods, it did arrive in one piece, so I'm very excited about that. This packaging is honestly really nice. I'm very impressed. It's a heavy duty plastic packaging. On the back it says this is the LA Girl Desert Dream 16 color eyeshadow palette, 24-month shelf life, and this is made in China. Total net weight is 1.23 ounces or 35 grams, and then all the ingredients are on the back as well. You guys know I don't discriminate based on price point. If something appeals to me, I will try it, whether it's a $3 e.l.f. bite-size palette to a $125 Natasha Denona or Pat McGrath palette. I usually just buy things based on if they appeal to me or not. Regardless of that, just not knowing the price or anything, I would think that this was a high-end palette. Maybe not like luxury, but I could easily see a brand like Too Faced or Tarte or KVD Vegan Beauty easily charging like $50 for a palette like this. It's really nicely made. And I mean, look at this. It's plastic. The mirror stays up. It's a massive mirror, so if you want to travel with it. I know LA Girl has a ton of other eyeshadow palettes like this, so if you aren't into colorful shadows, I know they have neutral options. They also have some more jewel toned options. So I would highly recommend checking out the LA Girl page on Ulta's website. I'll link that down below in case you guys want to shop, using my link. Thank you if you shop my links. It really helps me put back into my channel. So anyway, I'm honestly really impressed on the packaging and stuff. So now let's go ahead and swatch this palette because I am wearing 4 shades from this palette, actually 5 shades from this palette, but I haven't swatched all the shadows, so let's go ahead and get into that. So the first row is all metallics, and I mean they feel nice and creamy. Some are definitely more chunky, like metallic shades, and then these two are like a more smooth metallic, so I anticipate that this palette will swatch very nicely because they feel very like metallic. So these 2 shades are beautiful. They're more like, I don't want to call them iridescent, but yeah, they're kind of iridescent, like that pinky shade. It's like almost a clear base with tons of pink and green sparkles, and this top one is like a holo purple pink like duochrome shade. It's so pretty, and the shade names are Lineup, Thirsty, Light Show, and Viral. So these 2 are more chunky shadows, Lineup and Thirsty, and then these 2 are more smooth metallic shades, so absolutely stunning. Okay, so the next row is all mattes. So I posted that I was considering buying this palette in my community section, and I had a few comments where people were like, you said you don't like pastel palettes, why are you trying to buy another pastel palette? Well, I didn't really see this palette as a pastel palette, and seeing it in person right now, I would say this would be the row that you would consider pastel, and I really still feel like it's not that pastel. Like, yes, this shade does look like a minty pastel shade, but I feel like it has enough depth to it where I have enough color payoff, whereas some palettes, because they are all pastel, it makes it really hard to use. So I feel like these mattes have good deeper mattes that I could easily pair well to make this palette work. So I will keep you guys posted on how that works out as I try this palette. So that row, the shades are Wristband, Sky High, Ferris Wheel, and Flex is that mauvey purple shade at the end. Okay, so here is the third row, and we have 2 mattes and 2 kind of more metallic shades. So these are the mattes I used to create my eye look today. Ooh, those 2 metallic shades are so pretty. So basically the green shade is $3 bill sign, so I'm gonna call it dollars. Then we have Headliner, we have Merch, and A, or A, I don't know how to say that and sound cool at the same time, but there are the swatches of the third row, and then we have 1 row left, and it's 3 metallics and 1 matte shade. Okay, so here is the last row. I'm just gonna swatch it right here, that green. That's the green I have on my lid. These are really nice. I mean, they're very metallic. So there's the last row, and the shade names are Shuffle, Backstage, All Nighter, and Blackout. Hopefully you guys can see that. And then there are all the other swatches. I know I had somebody in my comment section say that the camera didn't focus on the swatches and they missed the swatches, so I'm trying to do my best. I'm so sorry. But also, if you could just pause if you want to get a closer look, I am doing my best to slow down so you guys can catch the swatches. So anyway, now that you've seen the swatches, let's get into how I created this eye look. Okay guys, so we're gonna film the demo portion of this video. This color story I feel like was made for me, so of course I had to grab this palette. I hummed and hawed over it for so long, and then I had like a 20% off on Ulta, so I was like, okay Karen, just get it. If you don't like it, you can let your audience know, and then you can just move on with your day. So I have to use the green shade in this palette because, I mean, it's green, come on. So that is going in the crease straight away. No hesitation. Straight up, got it going in the crease. So that is the shade. It's the dollar sign, so I'm guessing it's called Dollars. And I'm just gonna blend that into the inner corner and then kind of halfway out. Wow, not bad. I mean, I don't know what to expect, but I feel like pigmentation is already exceeding my expectations. That's so pretty. So I think the eye look, I'm thinking like blues and greens. Although my shirt is like blue, gray, and purple, I feel like all those shades are also in this palette, but you guys know me, I can't resist a green eyeshadow. If I see it, I'm like, yes, come here. Let me put you on my eyes and let me see what you can do. And I'm gonna go into the blue shade called Headliner. And I'm going to stick that in the outer corner. And I'm going to blend those two, the green and the blue, together as best as I can. These shades are really working quite well. Pretty impressed. I mean, this is a drugstore palette. I think I paid like under 20 bucks for it. And you get a ton of products, so that's always nice to know that there's good drugstore colorful eyeshadow palettes available too. You know, it's not just the neutrals. The drugstore is also trying to get better at colorful shadow palettes, which is nice for all the people that like to use color. You know, that makes me happy. Let's try Shuffle on the lid. I want to know how creamy these are. So I'm going to go in without wetting the brush. And it's applying like a typical metallic without being on a damp brush. So I'm going to, oof. It's a very creamy formula. So I'm going to try and wet the brush and see if it helps bind the shadows together. Because sometimes when you wet the brush, it helps smoothen things on a little bit nicer. That's a pretty green shimmer shade. It's a very flaky formula. But I love green. So light green, dark green, any kind of green. I will take it. Okay, so I put the light green shimmer like almost halfway to my eye. And now I think I want to add some blue metallic on the outer corner, but I think I should deepen it up a little bit. So let me see here. I'm going to grab this smaller blending brush and I'm going to go into the black shade. And I'm just going to lightly tap it because I don't know how pigmented the shade is. So I'm just going to go really easy. The formula is workable. It's not my favorite, but if you are balling on a budget and you want like a fun, colorful eyeshadow palette, I think this one is pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to go into this metallic blue shade. It's called Thirsty. Let's see how that does on the outer corner. I feel like these shades would do better with my finger. Yeah. That's kind of the vibe I got from the green too, is like maybe try my finger instead of a brush. Okay, so we have a little bit of fallout. I'm going to clean that up. I'm going to put some foundation on and I will be right back to show you guys the final look and give you guys some of my thoughts. Okay guys, so here is the final look. Can you guys tell that I got lazy today and I didn't want to do my hair? Oh my gosh, I'm the worst. But please guys, forgive me. I'm not a hair person. I wish I had like a team that just could do my hair for me every day like a Disney princess, but that's not really how my life works. So please forgive me. My hair is getting kind of greasy and I didn't want to straighten it and I didn't want to curl it. So here we are. We're just doing the best we can. Okay, so now that you've seen swatches and how I created this eye look, let me kind of tell you guys a few of my thoughts on this palette. Like I said, I think the packaging is 10 out of 10. So well made. It feels really nice and hearty, so I really appreciate that. As far as the eyeshadows go, I don't love the mattes so much, but I feel like I can make them work. They're not my favorite matte formula. with colorful shadows, sometimes what tends to happen is once I start blending them, they get a little bit more, they kind of like stick to certain parts of my lid, and then certain parts it kind of fades. So I can see like my tan skin popping through it, so they're not 100% opaque. But that's not the end of the world, because what I did was, once I was doing like my lower lash line and stuff, I just took the same brush that I used for my lower lash line and I just tapped on more eyeshadow. So you can like brighten your eye look up by doing that. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that, but it's just a way to make a palette like this work for me. You could also try a more sticky eyeshadow base and see if that helps. I just use my P. Louise base. That's just the base that works really best for me. You could also try a white eyeshadow base. Sometimes that helps make lighter shadows pop on tan skin tone. I've seen a lot of deeper skin tones do that as well in videos. So sometimes I think a lighter eye base just helps pastel shades pop more. But yeah, overall, I think for the price point, this is a nice palette. I don't think you'd be disappointed in it. I just love the color story. I think this is so fun and different for the drugstore. The only other green blue palette that really comes to mind that's not like a Morphe palette or a ColourPop palette is the e.l.f. Earth and Oceans palette. It's just really nice to see drugstore brands coming out with stuff that's a little bit more different, a little bit less neutral, and fun colors for the people that like to play with color out there, that don't want to break the bank or purchase high-end makeup. I totally understand. But other than that, I don't know. I feel like I covered everything. I think the eyeshadow palette is nice. I don't see any major issues with it. I think it's easy to use. I think it's a fun color story. I would purchase it again. I definitely wouldn't pay more than $20 for it. So I think the price point is really spot on. And I think LA Girl did a really amazing job. So let me know. Have you guys tried anything from this brand? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you in my next video soon. Bye guys!